Verse 21. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his set apart name, his holy name. That's why our heart rejoices in him, because we're trusting in his name. Verse 22, let your mercy, O Yahweh, be upon us, according as we hope in you. And it said, according as we hope in you, let your mercy be upon us. The same thing that was said right here in Tehillim chapter 34. Verse 6. This poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his trouble. Now this poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his trouble. The angel of Yahweh is camped around about them that fear him and deliver them. Your deliverance is not going to be in the hand of what Congress can do for you. It's what Yahweh can do for you. And if you don't have Yahweh in your life, then Yahweh don't have you in his mind to consider you in the time of trouble. He'll let you go on. You eat the fruit of your own doing. Look what they say here in verse 17 and verse 15. The eyes of Yahweh are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The face of Yahweh is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. And that's what Yahweh going to do. Because evil has spread itself like a green bay tree. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Just a few people that can stand up for righteousness, can lift up a banner, can lift up a standard in righteousness and truth on behalf of their maker and creator Yahweh. The love that they have, not for religion, but for the love of the truth. That's how you prove who you're serving. Truth. Verse 17. Yahweh, the righteous cry, and Yahweh heard, and delivered them out of all their trouble. Not some of it, not most of it, but all of their trouble. Yahweh is near, is nigh unto them that of a broken heart, and save such as be a contrite spirit, a crushed spirit. This is what Yahweh do on behalf of those that cry. Now, remember, I was telling you over here in Thessalonians, I'm going to go back to here, Thessalonians, chapter 2 Thessalonians. And I'm going to read this again, because you're not seeing what's before you now. And I'm going to hope and pray that Yahweh reveal this unto those that got ears to hear what the Spirit is saying. Chapter 2, verse 1. In 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of Yeshua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters, as from us, as that day of Yeshua is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means. This was Saul speaking in his time. Paul was speaking in his time concerning our time. The present to the future. As he declared in his present tense to the people, brethren, don't be soon shaken about what you see, the spirit of iniquity already working, that Yeshua is at hand. No, he's not. I'm going to tell you what has to take place first before he come and declare himself who he is. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And the falling away has been taking place since he said that up until right now, me speaking unto you on this podcast. How many people you think out there protesting today about what's taking place in the American system today has fallen away from prayer, steadfastness, and righteousness to trust in Yahweh? They trusting in the arm of flesh. They trusting in it. And by trusting in it, I'm going to come back here, the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah, 17th chapter, the book of Jeremiah, 17th chapter, verse 5. Now, by trusting in it, these people, trusting in what the senators are saying, they're divided because they trusting in man. 17 Jeremiah chapter, verse 5. Thus said Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusts in man. Cursed be the man that trusts in man. Now, Trump trusts in Elon Musk. Elon Musk is just a puppy on the screen. Trump is just a puppy on the screen. Elon Musk is the one that came forth and bought the presidential. Trump turned it over to him. Trump is asking him, what you want me to say and do? It's all coming from Elon Musk and the rest of the ones that are with Elon Musk. Not Donald Trump. Donald Trump sold America out to the highest bidder. And he put a man into your system, as the senator said, that is not even on his staff as a man that they recognize within the Constitution to be inside dealing with the laws and dealing with the revenue of America treasure. He wasn't voted in to be there. Congress didn't select him and put him there. He put himself there with people that he brought in with him. Cursed be the man that trusts in man and make flesh his arm, his hope. Now, Trump is cursed. He already got a reproach about him that he's lack understanding. But he tells the Christians set of America that follow him, just like the mob follow him in sedition, follow him. What he was saying, they went. What they ought to do, they did. On behalf of him instigating them to do it. And yet you didn't convict him. The system didn't convict him of the crime of seduction. Didn't convict him of that. And he was the instigator. He was the leader. He the one that led the mob to go there. He didn't go himself. His word took him there. And yet you didn't convict him. The system failed the people then. And the whole world will eyewitness what kind of man this was. But the world did not know who he was following. The world didn't know who he was following. He was following somebody that had not yet been revealed. And when he came on the scene, it was revealed who Trump was lifting up hand and showing who he worshiped, who he praised, who he gonna obey if he become president. And there was no doubt he was gonna become president because the presidential was paid in full by Elon Musk. Let's read on. Thus said Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusts in man and made flesh his hope, his arm, and who hearts depart from Yahweh. Neither one of them had a conscience of their creator inside of them. Neither one of them. One of them don't have a heart beating inside of him. He got a spirit in him, but no conscience of a heart or soul. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched place in the wilderness, in a salt land not inhabited. This is the curse that's going to come upon this man or a nation. Or a nation. Now, this curse is here. But we're going to read back over here in Thessalonians, verse 3, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin, that man, not men, one man, that man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition. Now that man, You were looking for signs and wonders. You're looking for this and that, and you're not realizing that one man came into the system and took over it. One man came and got Donald Trump into the office and now running the government by destruction, the son of perdition. This man have brought forth this economy up under his feet. Let's read. Who oppose and exalt himself above all. Now he has opposed all the senators. He has opposed everything that the United States government stand for. Yet you still trying to get him to come to the senators and sit down and talk with him. You're pleading with him, the man of sin. You're pleading with him to come and speak to you on behalf of what he's doing. He's doing what his father gave him authority to do. And it wasn't Yahweh. Yahweh's letting him do these things because you serve him. You've been serving him. When you serve wealth, gold, riches, silver, and your hand was covered in blood by deceit, lies, and hypocrisy, you were serving him. They were just waiting on him to be made manifest. Above all that is called creator, or that is worship. You see, in Germany right now, Elon Musk effect is taking over Germany. He's taking over the countries that is up under his umbrella, which his system is over the whole world. You can't stop it. You can't prevent it. You let the door open up and he came right in. And now that you see what he's doing, everything in his past is causing destruction. Because he's the son of prediction. A spirit came in and overtook this man and put him out in front. And one thing America will trust in is riches and gold. And you let his riches and gold came in through your stock market, through your stock revenues, through your Wall Street, through all the things that he put in place. You did not see the hour of visitation. That you was not dealing with a man. You were dealing with something beyond a man, imagination. He got ahead of you in this battle, dealing with living souls. And he don't care about no soul in his path. Trump is expendable. He's not the president of no United States. He's a man trusting in another man. He is as Yahweh sitting in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. Now the temple that the Jews are trying to build in Jerusalem with the red heifer to restore and stuff are the same people that dropped the atom bomb, became a nation in 1948. Overnight, United Nations declared Israel as a nation among those people that was in Palestine. And they've been taking it by force and violence ever since. But the Arabs know they're not Hebrews. American Christians think they're Yahweh chosen people. They're not Yahweh chosen people. They're God people. In God they trust. But they trust in gold and silver, in wealth and power. And they gonna make the temple for the son of prediction to enter into it. Yahweh don't dwell in no temple made by man here. He dwelled in the believers of people, minds, and conscience that he made man and woman. Now, only one thing Trump said that was without sin in him speaking. That the Creator created man and woman. That's the only truth that came out of his voice. Because he's a man trusting in another man. Hope. And that's why he's expendable. They don't need him. They don't need nobody no more. You know what they got? they're going to come to replace man? AI and robots that they got to march through the land that can destroy all human upon the face of the earth. And yet they gonna govern him by protecting him, and he gonna protect them from us. We're not in his plan. He's the son of prediction. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Ask him that question. Remember now, I told you these things, not for our time, but for the last day time. And in the last days, this is what this man got to do. And now you know what withholdeth, that he may be revealed in his time. In his time appointed, he was going to be revealed. Revealed to the world to see one man took the United States and trampled over it. One man got the system set up throughout the whole world to fall up under his system. And he got a giant megaton Colossus system in Memphis, Tennessee, ready to go online to control every database thinking, move, walk, breathe of every living soul to be placed under his care of Colossus. That's why he needed the Treasury Department. That's why, regardless, when you do get him out, it's been done already. They already got the information they needed while you slept, while you out there pleading and protesting and stuff. All has been gotten that you kept secret in a manner of protecting from any invader that would come in and try to overthrow America's system. But America forgot she was America. And she's been invaded by one man with the spirit of iniquity that comes from one fallen angel, Satan. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Verse 7. When Saul saw this, he was telling the spirit is already working in our time. But the man of sin couldn't be revealed in our time. It's his time, his appointed time he'll be revealed. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Who do you think is letting him do what he did until he be taken out of the way? It was Yahweh letting him do it, because you're not serving Yahweh. This nation hasn't repented. In God we trust, but they trust in the arm of flesh. It proves that. Yahweh is nowhere to be found in the midst of these people. Nothing but division, confusion, and now Satan got a stronghold, and he came in the flesh of man, and he took by force. He forced his way in what he needed on behalf of his AI computer system to govern the world. The world. And then shall that wicked be revealed. And he's been revealed. And you still trying to protest. You still trying to get out and ask him to come and sit down with you. What is his intention? What are you planning on him to do and stuff? I'm going to tell you, as I said in my podcast, if the law be broken, and the law was not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless, in the book of 1 Timothy, right after Thessalonians, 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 9. 1 Timothy. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless, disobedient, for the unholy, and for the sinners, for the ungodly and unholy, and profane, for murders of father, murders of mother, for manslaughter. You can read on what it's made for in verse 11. Now, when you take away the law and you put in place someone that has no regard for the law, that you think they are in leadership because they confess to you things they would do, and you believed it because you trust in the arm of flesh. You believed it, but you didn't have no wealth to put him in office. Your vote did not count on behalf of that. What counted was that all that voted for him, you're a partaker of his evil deed. You're guilty by association. You're guilty by election. You're guilty of what he's doing to innocent people that are crying out more than you have. As Christian, you cried out to Donald Trump, but Trump was serving a man called Elon Musk. He wasn't serving you. He wasn't for the people. He served himself. But he needed gain and wealth to get in office to cause the United States of America to collapse within, and they can't come at him about all the evil and wrong that he has done, because when there is no law, how can you govern and convict somebody of a crime when you got a lawless society? He let go all the people, 1,600 people that were lawless, for the day that they can mingle in with the protester. A snare was set. The more you protest and rise up, he's going to release those people to get in the midst of you, and you're going to be fighting against one another on the street. And there will be no boots of human beings coming in to separate you. It will be robots that they will release on you. And they don't care what color you is, who you voted for, or what you did. They're programmed to kill and destroy. That's going to be their program. And you fell into the snare of a pit that they laid for you as an American citizen. Because China, as we speak, already got police robot walking the street in China. The world gonna come together in one accord that you have failed to do as human beings. They gonna come together in one accord to govern you by their robots, by their program that the programmer set in place for them to do unto you. And that's why I say Yahweh got his people that cry unto him. He gonna be our shield and buckler. He is the one gonna intervene on behalf of the poor and needy. He is the one gonna bring forth his angels to fight against machines that man invented. Earth is his footstool. Satan is not gonna destroy his footstool, but he's gonna destroy those that are up under his footstool, that cannot find in their mind and heart to repent and turn from their evil and wicked ways. You're going out and protest against what men are doing in the system against you. As a protester, you're protesting against wrongdoing, but you have not yet seen the wrong in your doing. How you live, how you act, how you treat one another, how you live by riches and gold, how you live by your attitude, what job you have, the money you make from your job, and how you don't want to live with nobody else, and you don't want no one else to come in your midst to live among you, lest there be a division among you, because you can't walk together except you agree. You can't live together except you agree. That's why marriage don't last, because two parties can't become one, and one trying to rule over the other one, and one fight against the other one, the other one fight against this, and the children are left to themselves, and they take up the sword, they take up the violence, they take up the spirit of contention, and they warn against anybody to get in their midst, because they got it at home from mama and daddy, warn against one another. by the self-same spirit working in their father and mother, working in their children, they go out on the street and work against one another. Self-same spirit. A familiar spirit. It's the self-same spirit. And that's why the law that you trust in is being made lawless before your eyes. Because you didn't know the hour of visitation, you were sleeping. And you let one man that you thought was going to be for American people get way ahead of you, that you can't bring him into your system no more. You can't govern him no more. And you lost your country because you trust in the arm of flesh. You let this take place. The only way you can save this country, you're going to have to see what Nineveh did in the book of Jonah, how that Hebrew man told them what they needed to do. And the king put out a decree. And he put out that decree that no one in his kingdom should touch any bread or water for 3 days and 3 nights, that Yahweh wrath may pass. Now Yahweh wrath is not going to spare America unless America repent and turn from their evil and wicked ways, from the history of their doing into the present tense of their doing. Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. Whether it be a man or woman or a nation, king or queen, those in authority over other people, you shall reap what you sow. So if your senators of the Democratic want to get back out there, congressional of women and men's and their parties and everything else and stuff, you better be calling for this country to get on both knees to repent and turn from their ways if you want to remain a nation in America. Because America, Yeshua said, man don't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh shall we live by. And if you trust in God, where's your God now that you trust in? He's trampling over you because you trust in the arm of flesh, not in the creator and maker of heaven and earth and the universe and everything that exists and moves and have their being. In the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 21. I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to give you the conclusion of this matter. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing. That was a country, and the men and women, they gave themselves to hear and to listen to some new thing. They're being entertained. America is an entertaining country. The arena of Rome entertained the mobs with their arena to keep them going in what they was doing, entertaining them, while the senators was causing division among each other that the country of Rome, the nation of Rome, could not stand. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Then Saul, Paul, stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, "You men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotion, and this is your devotion, in God we trust." That's your symbol. That's your banner upon all your place, upon your wall, upon your money, your currency. In God we trust. I found an altar with this inscription: to the unknown deity, whom therefore you ignorantly worship, him declare unto you. Now you ignorantly worship in God we trust. That's your currency. That's your money. Your bloodline. But money is not blood. Gold is not blood. Silver is not blood. Minerals is not blood. Blood is blood that came from a creator that put it in all of us. Not some of us. All of us. Except for fallen angels. They don't have flesh and blood in them. Yahweh that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is master of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temple made with hand. He don't dwell in temple made with hand. Neither worship with men's hands as though he need anything, seeing he gives to all life, breath, and all. He gives this to all, not just America, to every country, life and breath and all things. And had made of one blood all nation of man for to dwell on all the face of the earth. You have forgotten that. Trump don't even consider it. Elon Musk don't want to hear it. Because he's the man of sin. And he has came forth before you to prove it. Because you're begging him. He's not begging you. He invaded that. And did it by his own will. And Trump gave him the okay. Because you have forgotten that America consists of all people, not Republic or Democratic. The world consists of all people, one blood, one nation of all people. All people. Let us hear the conclusion of the matter. In the book of Ecclesiastes, 12th chapter, I'm going to give you this right fast because I don't have the equipment, as I said, and I'm running out now. Verse 13, Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. This is his duty. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. This is the conclusion of the matter. You got a matter taking place in the world today. And you got robots finna come out on you. You got an artificial intelligence that finna control the system of your system that is now totally AI, computerized technology, dealing with your currency, your money, and everything. And it's all up under the hand of a beast system that you live in, whether you believe or not, whether you hear or not. It's here. But you'll be affected by it because you got blood in you. And all nation of people has blood in them. But machines don't. AI don't. And they're released now upon you. In our visitation, who shall you cry unto? Your senators and legislators, they have blood in them too. They just been lured to sleep and fighting against one another. House divided against this cannot stand. I pray and hope that you receive this message with fear and tremble before your maker and creator, to know you being warned, set your house in order, your spiritual house, and come before Yahweh with repentance. Shalom, shalom.